What if a helicopter designed in 1961 has never been replaced because nothing built since comes close? Welcome to Real Infology, where we go past the headlines and deep into the engineering stories that defined history. Today we're telling the complete story of the Boeing CH-47 Chinook, the heavy-lift helicopter that first flew in September 1961, entered U.S. Army service in 1962, and is still being ordered brand new today, still being upgraded, still being deployed, still doing things that no other helicopter on Earth can replicate. When considering the history of American military helicopters, no other aircraft has had the longevity of the Boeing CH-47 Chinook. It has outlasted every aircraft designed to replace it. It has outlasted the companies, the strategies, and the political environments that surrounded its creation. And Boeing suggests that operators should be able to use the Chinook at least into the 2060s, if not longer, meaning this helicopter will have served for over a century by the time its retirement is even discussed. The U.S. Army has been flying the same helicopter since John F. Kennedy was in the White House. Not the same design concept, the exact same platform. Boeing keeps making it better, and the Army keeps deciding nothing else comes close. At some point, that stops being loyalty and becomes engineering fact. If stories about machines that refuse to become obsolete are your thing, hit that like button and subscribe to Real Infology right now. What comes next is absolutely going to earn it. The problem that created it, to understand why the Chinook exists and why it has survived everything that has tried to replace it, you need to understand the problem it was built to solve. The U.S. Army moved to replace the Sikorsky CH-47 Mojave, a helicopter that had served as a heavy-lift platform. However, only 55 entered service as deployment revealed its shortcomings. The Army needed something fundamentally different. Not an incremental improvement. A completely reconsidered approach to the problem of moving heavy equipment, large numbers of personnel, and oversized cargo in conditions that would ground or destroy lesser aircraft. Vertol Aircraft Corporation started development on the helicopter with a specific engineering philosophy. The solution to the heavy lift problem was not a bigger version of what already existed. It was a different configuration entirely. The engineering decision that changed everything. Most helicopters use a single main rotor for lift, combined with a smaller tail rotor to counteract the rotational torque that the main rotor generates. This is an elegant solution to a fundamental physics problem, but it comes with a significant cost. Every horsepower directed to the tail rotor is horsepower not going into lifting cargo. The Chinook skips the tail rotor completely. Instead, both of its main rotors are driven by the same engines but spin in opposite directions. That cancels out the twisting force, or torque, that normally makes a helicopter want to spin around. With no energy wasted on stabilization, all of the engine's power goes straight into lifting and moving forward. The tandem rotor layout also provides a wider center of gravity envelope than any single rotor design. This means the Chinook can carry loads positioned differently within its fuselage without becoming unstable, a capability that sounds technical until you realize it means the helicopter can be loaded quickly and practically in field conditions, rather than requiring precise cargo placement calculations before every flight. The two rotors are linked by a synchronized transmission system, which ensures they never collide, even during an engine failure. That synchronization is critical, because two massive sets of spinning blades occupying the same airspace without touching requires extremely precise mechanical coordination. Two sets of massive rotor blades spinning in opposite directions, occupying overlapping airspace, synchronized by a mechanical system that has to work perfectly every single flight. Engineers in 1961 designed that system. It still works. Whatever they put in that transmission deserves its own engineering award. The numbers that explain the dominance. The CH-47's payload capability is somewhere between 24,000 and 26,000 pounds at sea level, thanks to a tandem rotor system that comprises 6 blades, 2 engines, and 5 transmissions, built to produce over 10,000 horsepower. External sling loads allow the CH-47 to carry up to 26,000 pounds of cargo that won't fit inside the fuselage. To put that in perspective, That is equivalent to lifting a fully loaded semi-truck, not towing it. Lifting it vertically off the ground and flying it somewhere else. The Chinook has routinely moved artillery pieces, vehicles, construction equipment, and disabled aircraft that no other helicopter could approach. Capable of a top speed of 170 knots, 200 miles per hour, upon its introduction to service in 1962, the helicopter was considerably faster than contemporary utility helicopters and attack helicopters, and is still one of the fastest helicopters in the U.S. inventory. A heavy-lift helicopter that is also one of the fastest helicopters in the fleet. That combination defies the normal engineering trade-off between capability and performance. The CH-47's unique design delivers stability, agility, and rear ramp access on unprepared terrain, plus high-altitude performance up to 20,000 feet. That altitude capability matters enormously in practical terms. Most helicopters lose significant performance at elevation. Thinner air means less lift, less power, reduced capability. The Chinook operates at 20,000 feet in conditions that would ground competing aircraft entirely. The evolution that kept it relevant. The CH-47D, which first entered service in 1982, saw improvements from the CH-47C standard, including upgraded engines, composite rotor blades, a redesigned cockpit to reduce workload, improved and redundant electrical systems and avionics, and the adoption of an advanced flight control system. This pattern of continuous improvement is the key to understanding why the Chinook has survived. Boeing and the U.S. Army never treated it as a finished product. Every generation of the platform addressed the specific stay competitive. It's still dependable, no doubt, but technology in this space moves fast. Boeing's answer is steady evolution. The CH-47F and the newer Block II bring stronger engines, refined digital controls, and reworked fuel tanks for longer missions. Those changes don't reinvent the Chinook, they reinforce what already works. The tandem rotor configuration that made the Chinook distinctive in 1961 remains the most efficient architecture, for heavy-lift helicopter operations. No competing design has demonstrated the combination of payload capacity, speed, altitude performance, and operational flexibility that the Chinook delivers in a single platform. Only Boeing has the experience to deliver the world's most affordable, modern, and proven heavy-lift helicopter, and that experience accumulated over 6 decades of continuous production and operational feedback represents a competitive advantage that cannot be replicated quickly or cheaply. Boeing suggests that operators should be able to use the multi-role helicopter at least into the 2060s, if not longer. A helicopter designed in 1961 will be in active service in 2060. That is not a legacy. That is a standard that every aircraft designed since has failed to meet. The Boeing CH-47 Chinook wasn't built to last forever. It was built so well that forever became the only realistic timeline. The CH-47 Chinook is proof that genuinely correct engineering doesn't become obsolete. It becomes the baseline against which everything that follows is measured and found wanting. From its first flight in September 1961 to Block 2 deliveries happening right now, the Chinook has done the same thing in every era. It has carried what needed to carry to where it needed to go in conditions that nothing else could survive. That's not a specification, that's a legacy. 60 years of competitors have tried to replace the Chinook. 60 years of operators have discovered they couldn't. At some point, the helicopter stops being old and starts being correct. Which detail about the CH-47 Chinook surprised you most? Drop it in the comments below. We read every single one. Hit that like button and subscribe to Real Infology. I spend more time researching these videos than Boeing spent designing the tail rotor the Chinook doesn't have, and that's saying something. Keep your eyes open and your curiosity running, because the greatest engineering stories are always the ones where someone got it right the first time. Thanks for watching.